Hey, Chelsea, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well now that you're back. I missed you. I felt abandoned. I went and talked to my support group. They built me back up, and now I came back and you rejoined me, and we're all good again.
Okay.
Good. See, it's not that hard, right?
Yeah.
So tell me how I can help you.
Um, so, I'm dealing with some anxiety and some triggers, and my boyfriend and we knew each other from kids, and we met last fall, and a friend said, "Hey, you two got to meet," and it turns out I still have a pretty bad trigger issue, an anxiety issue, and he's got a lot of friends and family that are really close, some very close relationships that have been hard to navigate, including an ex-wife across the street.
Wait a minute. Wait,
And
hang
all the
on,
friends are
hang
still,
on. Hold on a second. I got to understand this. So you've got some triggers. He's got an
uh-huh,
ex-wife who lives across the street from him.
uh-huh,
Wow. Are there kids
yeah.
involved?
No, but they share all the same friends, and everybody's expected to just kind of get along and come do all the activities together and borrow each other's kayaks and whatnot still.
Wow. So we're yeah, we're all one big happy knot family here, right? So are your triggers
Yeah.
involving do your triggers involve uh feeling like triggered when he talks with her? Is that what we're talking about here?
No, it's a trigger of, I have two small kids, and it's a trigger of not feeling prioritized. It's a feeling like everybody else's needs are prioritized, as well as mine and my kids, to the point where I'm not sure we've been a priority. So
Oh, to him.
he actually, yeah, and my triggers have led me to kind of seek some affirmation from other, to try to figure out who I can talk to about what when there's a problem, because everybody knows everybody, and everyone's had relationships for 10 plus years, so it's been difficult. So I wanted to talk to somebody, and I definitely crossed a boundary and talked to someone I shouldn't have, the ex, actually, who was trying to be friends with me, and I thought she seemed really nice and seemed like she might be able to give me some perspective. And I crossed that boundary, and he felt betrayed, but I've done everything I can to make up for that, and I understand the problem. My thing is, I tend to get anxious around these family and friend events because I really want to have good relationships with everybody.
Yeah.
But then something will come up, and he'll see
Like
it as
what?
me being negative, rather,
Like
like I'll
like
say,
what would
hey,
be an example?
like we are all going to an event, and I know the ex-wife's going to be there, so I'm preparing for it emotionally, and I'm being brave. And then he'll say, hey, the sister's coming, and the sister's kind of giving me a hard time about spending so much time with her brother. And the sister's coming,
What?
and we're going to all sit in the front truck bed together for 3 hours in the car, and I'm told last minute, and I'm upset that I don't get a heads up earlier, or that I'm not given an opportunity to drive separate or something. And he looks at that as a negative thing, that I brought up, that I wanted a heads up, that I
Yeah.
wanted him to think of me and consider that that might just be a lot emotionally for me in one day.
Or or which may be a little more doable, um, that if he didn't have that foresight, which I understand why you would think, wouldn't he think of that? But if he didn't, at least when you tell him about it, and this is more doable, when you tell him about it, for him not to judge it and invalidate it like you shouldn't be feeling that way. That's the real problem.
Right.
Do,
Yeah, it
you
is.
see the
And that's
different
when he told me,
the yeah, the
yeah.
first one is I mean, we want people to be, it's like I was talking about at the beginning of the program, emotional intelligence would be thinking about, okay, how is this going to feel to someone else? And those are the most highly emotionally intelligent people, is when we're considering all of our actions and what we're doing and considering how it's going to feel to somebody when it lands. Well, sometimes we miss that, but what we can ask of ourselves, gosh, I didn't have the foresight to realize that would have hurt you, but now that you're telling me, I can have the emotional intelligence to understand that, oh gosh, this is hard for you. I'm sorry it felt that way. That's what you're really asking for.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be hard on me. It should just be normal. And he just thinks I just don't want the sister there, and that's my problem, and I'm making life negative.
Wow. So how do you like that?
um, I don't know. He tells me that I'm being negative, but then anything like that, he seems to somehow make bigger and more negative because
Right.
of his refusal to handle it.
So how do you like that?
I don't. I do feel dismissed and invalidated. But
Yeah.
I think he's breaking up with me anyway. So
Oh, he is.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I
because
finally told him some frustrations, and I just kind of let it all out.
oh,
And it.
so you let him
And
know,
yeah, I
you
probably.
let him know that this was hurtful to you and that you wanted a different approach.
Yeah, and he said it's too much. He said it's just too much. It's too much negativity. Too
Well,
much
how do you
drama.
feel about, and how do you feel about that?
It makes me feel
I
like I'm too much.
Well, it makes you feel like it's too much. Okay, I don't know if that's a feeling. The it's too much. What do you mean it makes you it's too much? What's too much? It's too much for him.
it it makes me feel like my feelings are just not important enough to spend time on.
For him.
For him.
Okay, now this is crucial because you kind of slipped into something that I want to absolutely point out to you because I want you to break this. Okay?
Okay.
When you say my feelings are too much, that apparently, can you guys hear that noise? Do
A
you,
little
do you
bit.
hear that noise? Yes, I've just got to say sorry. I think the neighbors have got some yard work going on that's kind of loud, so I can't do anything about it. But when you say my feelings are too much, okay, absolutely 100% true for him. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Because I want you to, and this is what I called in some book. What was it? I think it's in Necessary Endings. The magic of self-selection. No more Mr. Bad Guy. Okay, here's what I mean by that. You are saying, whoever I'm going to promote to the chair called boyfriend, which is different than the pool of people you're dating, right? Somebody's going to rise out of the crowd and you're going to go, gosh, I'm going to get more serious with this person. They're going to be my boyfriend. Okay, now what does it take to get to sit in that chair? Well, one of the things it takes to get to sit in that chair is a relationship where when either one of us has something that's bothering us, that we share it with the other person and the other person hears it, doesn't judge it, and tries to understand, okay, how can we solve that and make it better? That's a qualification. Whoever's going to sit in that chair is going to have that quality, right? What he just told you was he doesn't have that quality. That if you have feelings or things that are bothering you, he doesn't want to say, gosh, help me understand those. I don't want it to feel that way for you. Let's solve this. Because that's too much negativity for him. And so you're right when you say your concerns are too much negativity, but only for him. What you have got to do is keep the standard of whoever I'm going to be in a relationship with. We can talk about our feelings and understand them and try to solve them. And if somebody doesn't want to sit in that chair, then it sounds like he just told you he didn't want to sit in that chair, and you don't want anybody sitting in that chair that doesn't do that anyway. So here we go. It's a good day.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Well, but here's the thing. You've got to decide what your qualifiers are. How does somebody get the job of being boyfriend? Got to go through interviews.
Yeah.
They got to perform on a few tests. That's what dating is about.
Yeah.
And if somebody flunks the test of your feelings and hurts would be important to them, I don't know if they get hired. I mean, I wouldn't be hiring them if that's really what's happening, right?
Yeah. Well, it didn't show up until about 3 months in.
That's why dating. That's why dating is so important. I'm glad you didn't 2 months ago get married, which some people do.
Yeah, which I've done before.
Yeah. So you fill out the job description and start doing interviews.
Like that.
Don't hire anybody doesn't bring in the qualifications. I mean, you said he's breaking up with you, so he's decided. sounds like he wants whoever's going to be girlfriend is going to be somebody that kind of like doesn't gripe about anything, right?
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. I tried to get him to read "Hold Me Tight: 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love," and I asked him to please consider reading it still with me because we were gonna do that. So I don't know if that will happen, but.
Well, I don't know the book, but I like the title. Get some whoever it's going to be, whether it's him or not him, but somebody. I would want them to hold your feelings tight and have at least 7 good conversations about your feelings, and then it'll last.
It's emotionally focused therapy.
Okay. So good luck on if he doesn't break up with you, you got a choice too, right? If he doesn't, what I would say is, I'd like for us to keep going if we can have a relationship where when I talk about things that hurt me, that you could not judge those and be open to them and help find a way to where we have some other choices.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I like that.
All right. Thank you for your call. And I hope you do well in the next steps. Okay. Bye-bye.